So the next thing I want to show you in this week is how to make a tonic tea, and I'm going to keep this nice and simple for you and use chaga mushrooms and reishi mushrooms, and you can get these online wherever you are. In the US, Mountain Rose Herbs; in the UK, Tree Harvest, I think it is, if I remember rightly. And this reishi mushroom is kind of like, you imagine like a big portobello, and then they dry it, chop it and dry it. These chaga mushrooms, actually you can get for yourself if you just go onto YouTube and search for chaga mushrooms, and you can see people harvesting them from the side of a birch tree. Or if you know someone who lives in a forest, or that can maybe harvest some of these for you. Now, we're going to be using some heat. I know this is a raw food course, but we're using heat in a way that is very controlled, and you need heat to extract the goodness from these mushrooms. So both of these mushrooms are very good on the liver. They're very supportive to, in a combination, to the whole endocrine system, and great for immunity and all that good stuff. So I'm going to show you how to make a tea out of them, which you can sweeten, and then in the next section we're going to take that tea and make like a super tonic smoothie with it as well. So there's a kind of an increasing movement towards making these tonic teas and kind of mixing them with Chinese herbs and getting into all that kind of wisdom. So you know, I really wanted to do this and show you how to do it, and once you've got familiar with these, you can use things like astragalus root, nettles, you can put goji berries in there, you know, ginseng. You can just start to do a little bit of research and see which herbs and which roots and which mushrooms work well together. And I've given you a lot of resources, or a few resources at least, some really good ones that I enjoy for people that, I mean, you could write this as a whole nother course if you want to really go into it, but I just wanted to give you a good solid base and show you how you can get this into your daily life in a very simple way without getting too overloaded. And if you want to find out more about it, you can check out those links that I've given you. So I'm going to use one of these crock pots, and this is just kind of my old battered, bruised crock pot. I mean, they're all pretty much the same thing. I mean, just whatever you can afford, they all kind of do the same thing. I'm not particularly saying that I enjoy this brand. It was actually given to me. I was going to go and buy one of these one day, and a student of mine, I went to buy one and I'd forgotten my wallet, so I had to go onto where I was giving this class, and a student of mine turned up on that day with this crock pot that she didn't need anymore. So there was a kind of a poetic justice to that, and it all worked out. So we're going to use our spring water and just fill that up to the top. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can either turn it onto high and get it simmering for a couple of hours and it'll be ready. And what I like to do though, it's all about making it easy for you and get it into your everyday life. I like to put it onto warm or low. I've measured the temperature, and warm and low seem to be exactly the same, like within 2 degrees of each other, so I'm not sure why there's 2 different settings, but warm or low at night time, and then when I come back, wake up in the morning, my tea is ready. So what we would do is leave that on low, and then take your mushrooms or your whatever you're using, and I'm just going to break those up a little bit, give them a more surface area, and this is going to give us a nice brew. So like I said, you can just sweeten this and have it as a cup of tea, or you can chill it and you can drink it cold. Sweeten it as you want to sweeten it, with some honey or, you know, xylitol or stevia. And what you'll also find is that these mushrooms will be good for, you know, at least another 3 brews. Each one will get progressively less strong, but you can use these like 2, 3, 4 times. So that's pretty much all you have to do. Stick it on low at night. When you come back in the morning, you have a nice dark coloured water tea that you can then drink, or you can add to make a smoothie out of, which we're going to do.